Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Sing Confidently Live Creatively podcast. Estelle here. Today, I'm really excited to help y'all learn how to sing your lower notes more easily. We're going to use Vampire by Olivia Rodrigo for an example, okay? So when it gets time to do that, I'll like maybe play a little bit of it and then we'll work on where you're gonna sing. But really the concept is simple of for how to start to develop your low notes with a little bit more clarity. Maybe you are able to sing in your lower register residence in your lower register pretty well, but you feel like your tone is off, like it's not like clear, it's not crisp, it sounds muffled, or what happens a lot of the time, even if you have a naturally lower voice or you are a tenor bass or baritone singer, even if you are singing those low notes, sometimes there's a lot of breathiness and there's too much airiness that is not necessary. Now, this depends on the style of singing that you're doing. Obviously, like different styles you can allow for more breathiness in your lower voice intentionally if you're singing a pop song, right? Versus, another particular style of music. But for the most part, in our chest voice, we don't want to have too much air passing through. We don't want to have it to, overly airy unnecessarily. The point is that as a singer, and this is why I, as your coach, this is what I'm here to help you do, is to be able to use your voice the way you want to use it. So if you want to add in more air, you can, but it's a choice. It's not a requirement. It's like you have autonomy as a singer over your own voice. You know how to use your own unique voice to do the things you want it to do. You know what I mean? So that is what I want to help you do in that lower register today. And this is a very, very, very simple tool that you can use for literally any song that you're working on in your lower range or that you want to work on your low notes in. So I'm really excited to work on that with you today and to teach you all about that. I want to give you a couple updates just on life and just chat with you real quick. So specifically for this show, the Sing Confidently Live Creatively podcast has been doing 2 episodes every week, Monday and Thursday. But for this summer, I'm trying to chill. I'm trying to like bring it back a little bit, not chill per se, but I want to bring it back a little bit to just Monday episodes, at least for the summer. We'll see. We'll check back in over the fall, but for the next couple of months, I want to keep it to 1 episode a week because I want to open up more space to spend time talking with you guys a little bit more. Some of y'all are coming to my group class, Breath Support Made Simple. Some of you guys are coming to or like have booked lessons with me or done a free consult with me. And I love meeting you guys. I love getting to connect with my listeners because you're the ones who are dedicated to this. You're committed, you're listening every week. And I love that. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate you taking the time to believe in yourself enough to, click on, getting a lesson with me or click on booking a free consult with me or click on joining our Facebook group or leaving a review. All of those interactions really matter to me. And I really want to make sure that I'm paying even more attention to you guys and connecting with you all even more. So I'm going to cut back to 1 episode a week every Monday as usual. So every Monday, you'll definitely get your episode from singing tips to interviews to inspiration on your creative journey and confidence building as a performer and a singer and a creative in general. I really want to dig deep into how you can really build confidence in different aspects of your voice in musical theater singing and pop singing, and as well as like being a performer in general. And I really want to dig deep into that this summer. And so I'm going to stick to 1 episode every Monday. So make sure you're still subscribed so you don't miss out on those episodes. And I want to make sure that I have more space to connect with you all. So you guys come join the free Facebook group at creativelybyestelle.com/community, but also you can work with me one-on-one if you want to try out working with me and see how we vibe, see if you like my episodes in this podcast and you learn from me in my podcast. Trust and believe when we work together, you're going to learn even more because we're going to get really specific about your unique voice and the song or songs that you are working on. And so that can start with a free consult. So with this free consult, it literally could be it's like 10 or 15 minutes. It's like kind of like a mini trial lesson if you want. Sometimes it's just like chatting. We just want to talk about what you want moving forward and we kind of plan out like next steps. But sometimes people bring songs. Like you can bring a little bit of a song and we can work on it. Sometimes I just warm up singers and I'll like kind of do a warm up with you and we'll talk about like, oh, this particular part of your voice and why you're struggling with this. And I kind of treat it as a diagnostic in those cases where like I'll be like, okay, this is what I would do if I were you, and this is what I would tell you to work on. Here's an exercise you can continue to do. And this is kind of like if we were to work together, this is where I would start with you. So like, for example, I've told someone like before, okay, based on what we did in this warm up and everything in this voice consult, what I would work with you on first is helping you to transition between your registers more smoothly. We'd work on your mix there. And then we would transition to working more on your upper register, helping you to transition to head voice more easily. So like that's kind of like, for example, what I might conclude, but I don't know until I get to work with y'all individually. So that's why I'm hoping that as I cut back to one episode, I can take more time to work with you guys individually, answer your questions in a free voice consult. So if you haven't done that with me before, why not? There's no harm, no foul. There's no pressure to book a lesson with me afterwards. It's only if you want to, but I just love getting to meet you guys and answer your questions and support you. And so, yeah, you can go to creativelybyestelle.com/studio. You can just go to my main studio website page and you'll see it at the very top where you can do your free consult, creativelybyestelle.com/studio. Okay, let's get into how you are going to sing with more ease in your chest voice using Vampire by Olivia Rodrigo as our example. I want you to focus on whenever you have a song or a phrase that is low and it feels too low for you, or it's not strong enough, it's not, the tone isn't where you want it to be, it's not clear, or it's too airy. This is what I want you to focus on. Very simple. I want you to focus on speech-like quality. Speech-like quality, okay? So if we use this phrase, I'm going to play a little bit of Vampire by Olivia Rodrigo real quick, okay? See the boxments of torture you sold to some forbidden paradise. I loved you truly. Gotta laugh at the stupidity. Good. So she is clearly intentionally using a lot of air in her chest voice. It's very intentional. She doesn't have to. Okay. We've heard her sing in her lower register without this much air before, but the idea is choice, right? So if you wanted to, first of all, if you're not able to get down there at all, right, this is also super helpful. But especially if you want to sing with a little bit less air and you want it to be stronger, what I would say is to start with speaking at that. So we would start with that. I loved you truly is where we would start. So let's speak that together. Just speaking the words, I loved you truly. Can you say that? I loved you truly. And then you want to make sure that you're not just speaking it, but you're speaking it in a voice that is like you want someone to hear you. So that way we're naturally amplifying our voices. We're naturally creating a little bit more forward resonance. I loved you truly. You're going to say it like really nice and strong, in a strong, passionate tone of voice, okay? I loved you truly, right? And then the next phrase goes, you got to laugh at the stupidity. So let's say that together. Again, in the same very strong, forward resonant sound and tone. I loved you truly. You gotta laugh at the stupidity. Let's say that all together. I loved you truly. You gotta laugh at the stupidity, right? So obviously, this is not musical theater. We're not gonna enunciate that much, but we can translate that speech-like sound, that tone that you had in the same area. This is like down here in this area. Lower voices, you can be in the same exact area actually. And probably pretty comfortably. But if you wanted to sing it lower, you'll be down here instead of here. So now what we want to do is we want to take that speech level tone that we use in our lower register down here, and we want to translate it to singing in that same space. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to sing, I loved you truly. Now speak it first. I loved you truly. Now go ahead and sing it. I loved you truly. Lower voices, you're down here. Higher voices up here. Or wherever you're comfortable. Let's try that one more time, speaking it, then singing it. I loved you truly. Now sing it. I loved you truly. Make sure you're translating the same feeling that you had in your voice and your body while you're speaking it to the way that you're singing it. We are working on developing, transitioning that muscle memory that we have around speaking it into now singing it melodically on pitch. However, we're keeping the same resonance space, the same breath power, everything else is the same that we use when we are speaking it. Now let's go to the next line. We're going to speak it. You got to laugh at the stupidity, and then we're going to sing it. Here we go. You got to laugh at the stupidity. Now let's sing it. It starts here. Gotta laugh at the stupidity. Yeah, okay, let's start there. Let's speak it one more time, then we're gonna sing it. Now that we know what the notes are. Speaking it. You gotta laugh at the stupidity. Now singing it. You gotta laugh at the stupidity. Getting down to that bottom note is much easier when you're translating the way you would speak it to how you would sing it, okay? So much easier. This is an easy fix, and yet so many times we just like don't do this. So taking the speech-like quality and transitioning it to how you're singing it. Let's put this all together, speaking it and then singing it. On I loved you truly, and then gotta laugh at the stupidity, speaking it. 1, 2, ready, go. I loved you truly. You gotta laugh at the stupidity. Now let's sing it in that same speech-like quality right here. 1, 2, ready, go. I loved you truly. Gotta laugh at the stupidity. All right, were you able to hit the notes? Taking that speech-like sound to how you're singing it. Now we're gonna back off and we're gonna make it pop. Okay, so starting in that same speech-like singing space, right? Resonant space. I loved you truly. Gotta laugh at the stupidity. Now we're gonna decrease a little bit of the articulation, take out some of the diction, so you don't want to overemphasize the words, and you may add in a little bit of airflow, but make sure you have that resonance no matter what. Even I don't care, like even if you want to add in a ton of air, we still want to have a little bit of that resonance. That resonance is gonna allow your unique tone to come through. So if your voice is not resonating enough, then you're going to notice yourself maybe going flat a little bit. You're going to feel like your tone isn't very rich. So we want to make sure that we're keeping that buzz around the front of our mouth. We want to make sure that we're keeping that nice clear sound, even though we're adding a little air, okay? All right, so let's go from I loved you truly. Now we're taking out some of the diction. We don't need to sing I loved you truly. We can sing I loved you truly. And you can add a little bit of air there if you want to, okay? All right, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. I loved you truly. Gotta laugh at the stupidity. Right? So hopefully you were able to notice that you were able to maintain your unique sound and your tone, and it was still resonant. You still had, you could still hear yourself, right? It wasn't like lost in the air, but maybe you were able to add in some air. Now you can play around with it even more. Add in some riffs, add in some, different things. She adds in like a little vocal fry, I feel like. I think you gotta laugh. I loved you truly. Gotta laugh at the stupidity. She adds in a little vocal fry, I believe. So you can play around with that as well. But the point is, now you know how to get there. So if you're not even hitting those notes, right, you're gonna wanna go back to the speaking it. You're gonna wanna go back to how can I, if I can speak it, then I can sing it. So if I can speak these words in that same kind of pitch range, then I can now translate it to actual notes and sing it too, okay? So I just want you to know that it's possible. It's absolutely possible. Use that speech-like quality to help you to build that muscle memory for how to sing in your chest voice, how to sing in your lower range with a little bit more clarity of tone and resonance. And if you have any questions about this whatsoever, you guys, make sure you come to our free community or come and book a free trial lesson with me. I would love to work with you and help you on this specifically. Like maybe you have an audition coming up and you want to use this if it's like a pop, it's like a pop musical and they're asking for pop music, or you have an open mic night, or you're singing this live somewhere and you want to work on it. I would love to help you with this specific phrase, and we can easily do that in a 10-15 minute voice consult. So come and hang out with me you can go to creativelybyestelle.com/studio to help, so I can help you with this or this part of your voice so that you can feel much more confident in your lower notes, okay? Thank you. Oh gosh. Excuse me. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for being here. I apologize for the coughing fit at the end, but yeah, I love that y'all are here. I hope we get to talk a little bit more this summer now that we have some more spots for voice consultations and whatnot. I would love to hang out with y'all. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you later.